I'm sorry?
Could you believe how fast it's Wednesday again?
I know. I know. It seemed like we just hit end and here we are again. Um, this month
And
is
this
going
is
by
the
so
last one in this month. Next week, it's already the new month. I
it
don't know where
is.
this year's going. This is fast.
I don't either. Um, at this point, I'm just sitting and watching, just kind of, oh, there went another one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not even
That's
trying to keep up.
right, right.
It's funny because before we went live, we were talking about questions and how I needed to start writing them down because I'm not remembering. And our friend Rebecca says, "But I forgot all the questions I had during the week. Note to self: write them down."
That's pretty much what you have to do. I think everybody's just got too much on their brain in their minds in 16 different places, and it's hard to keep track of everything.
It is. It is. I used to have a pretty good memory, not anymore.
You
Um,
really don't. You're
the photographic movie memory, and I could like fast forward and
right.
rewind conversations, and like you said this, then I said this, and then you said this while holding this or walking this way. And now I'm like, I have no clue.
No, not anymore.
If it's longer than 5 minutes ago, I don't
Yes,
remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Well, hello, Angela. Her favorite part of waking up. Thank you. Oh, Rebecca. Wait, where did it go? Here we go. They're moving already. Helen. Yes, it was nice to meet you too, Sue. Thanks for coming in on Sunday. Melanie. Hello, Brooke. And Christina. Oh, Mary Crow. Hello, hello. Let's see. Oh, and Amy. I had a few questions for Sunday and forgot them. So I'm glad we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and I don't remember it was this last week or the week before, as we were getting ready to sign off, hello, Laura Mar and Mary. Um, Somebody had questions about really crowded houses or hoarding houses. I have found, which way am I going here? There we go. Um, when I have done work for people or in their house, it seemed like the more cluttered it was, the more stagnant the energy, and it doesn't move as freely. And sometimes that can exacerbate some depressions and anxieties. But does it have an effect for earthbound spirits having a more cluttered space, a more
Some earthbound spirits will actually like it when these people overbuy or hoard, and they can't stop. I come to the conclusion, and I've been in houses to clear that have hoarders where there is no place to sit, there's no place to put my case down. I mean, you are literally brushing against boxes of walls and papers as you're walking. And the ghosts love it because it stresses out the owners. And I think a lot of times, most of the hoarder houses that I've done, people lived in them were single. They have all been married or with a significant other. But I think the ghosts probably had something to do with that too. But these ghosts will go with them and encourage them to buy things. And these people come home, throw the bag on the top of the pile, never look at it, never even take it out of the bag. I mean, it's a sickness. It truly is. That is a sickness. And sometimes clearing the house with hoarders helps, but sometimes people are in such bad habits that it's hard to break.
Let's see. Lisa, hello, Lisa, says, good morning. Do the earthbounds appear in your home as they did on the Ghost Whisperer, or do you set boundaries regarding your house?
Very, very, very seldom do any ghosts come into my house. They have on occasion, and obviously I do not have the quinceads up, but they're pretty good. I had them more when we lived in Worcester than I do up here. But I've had them on occasion, but no, that's why, weren't you afraid you're going to bring them home with you? No, that's not even an option. They're not coming home with me. No way.
You're not invited.
No way.
Hello, Judy and Mike and Solon. So they're kind of close. Oh, and Brooke asked, how did Sunday go? Sunday was fun. It was nice meeting everybody.
We had a nice group of people there. Talk went well, and a lot of questions got answered, and I think it went really well. Yeah, it's so nice to see people face to face, even if you aren't close. You're still looking at real people, so it was nice.
Right. It's well, because everybody can see us. We can't see them. We can only see the text. So it was nice to have faces to the little icons and who's been asking questions and whatnot. So that was nice. It was fun.
Yeah, because you guys came up and introduced yourself. Well, I'm on every Wednesday. It's like, okay, so you're that Barbara and you're that Patty, and yeah.
Right.
Put a face with it.
Let's see. Debra says, good morning. I agree. Time is flying. If you travel a lot for your job, should you use mugwort sleep bag only at home?
Yeah, unless you're going to be away for, a long period of time, a couple, 3 weeks on vacation or something like that, I really wouldn't take it. It's not going to, hopefully you'll have a charm on and you'll have sea salt in your suitcase and you can sprinkle some sea salt on the doorway before you go into the hotel room. But no, I don't think you need to take it with you because, of course, I don't know what housekeeping does in hotels anymore. I think everybody's complaining that they don't clean them now because of the COVID. So you go down yourself and pick up towels. So it's not like the housekeeping is going to change your sheets and take your bag, your dream bag away. So I don't think I'd actually take it though.
Wendy says, thank you for Monday night because we just had Zoom a couple of nights ago. And Zooms are always, interesting. And I think they help a lot of people. And so the next one coming up is, the one that has any openings is September 10th. And Swifty says, great Zoom on Monday. I'll be doing the negative energy removal on my friend's husband this week.
Good.
Let's see. Hello, Lynette, and another local friend, Lisa, and yet another local friend, Sandy, Natalie. Oh, some of our friends from across the big pond.
Yes.
Hello, Karen. And it just jumped again. Let's see. So Evangelist says, I went hiking in a remote area of Oregon with 2 friends, but some people kept saying those woods are haunted. I don't believe it. What are your thoughts? And isn't Oregon one of the big places where Bigfoot's supposed to be hanging out too?
Right. But he's supposed to be alive, not dead.
True.
So
you ever seen Bigfoot ghosts? You haven't seen dinosaur ghosts. What about Bigfoot?
No, I've never seen a Bigfoot ghost either. No, I have not.
Well,
you know what I think it is? Don't forget your fairies, your sprites, your wood nymphs. You could be feeling energy from them because that is their home. And don't forget, too, Native American Indians, half of them go into the light, but the other half stay to protect Mother Earth. So you may be in a section that have, the guardians of the earth, walking around there too, making sure you're not doing something stupid, picking their trees or whatever. And so I don't believe a property can be haunted like that because in all honesty, who are they going to get energy from? Nobody.
Right. There would have to be like a living complex, apartments, new development, right?
For them, the metro parks, even where they have the pavilions where people can go to have parties or family gatherings, there are ghosts there when the family is there or the party people are there. But after the party's over, they just may go home with you.
No. No. Good morning, Jackie and Heidi. Divine, hey, Divine says, good morning, ladies. Marianne, you were awesome for answering all those questions last week. I was surprised how personal some of those questions were.
Yeah, and believe it or not, there were some I did not answer because I thought, oh no, this is really over the top. But people really commented on that. And, if they really know you, they knew half those answers anyway. And you're right. I don't know what that was about. And as hard as I try, I cannot remember those people by that name coming up, introducing themselves, meeting them anywhere. So, and that's not saying anything. Some of the events have, 200 people, and how would I know everybody? But yeah, it's over and it's done, and we will not be doing another one of those.
Missed your chance.
Yeah, if you lost, you're done.
Let's see. So I see some first timers joining us. Hello and welcome. During these lives on YouTube here on Wednesdays that we do every Wednesday at 10, you can ask questions in the comment section, and Marianne will go ahead and answer them for you. Answering questions about earthbound spirits, negative energy, portals, can answer some on the Fey realm and those little beings. So feel free to ask questions and we'll get those answered for you today. And a lot of people who wish they could have joined on Sunday, but it filled up pretty quick. It never fails. There's always like 5-7 spots right up until about a week out. And then they just fill. And then for a day or two, it was like, what do you mean I can't get in? And I'm like, oh, honey.
It's like, I want to do that, but maybe something better will come up. So I'll wait. And oh, gee, nothing better came up, so I'll go. Oh, well, you missed. So yeah, it's, and because we're doing it in such a limited space, you have, it's going to have to be a small crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I think it's nice though, the smaller crowds. People get to ask their questions and not get lost in the sea. And
that's right. Everybody gets their question answered that way. Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and again, another thank you for such personal, answers and questions, but some great info at the same time. And we have an accolade for your seed and how they work. Mel says, I'm a deputy who works for the county jail and I wear my Quincy daily. It never comes off.
Smart man. Believe you me. If anybody needs it, you guys do.
So it just moved. So there was a question of why sea salts for protection. Why sea salt over table salt over,
I have a theory about this. This is just totally my own opinion on this. When the Atlanteans were the warriors and they lived under the sea, under the oceans are sea salt, not table salt. And because they were warriors, I think maybe the sea salt fights or helps against something bad. So that's why it's sea salt. And then I figured out a way to even make it a little bit stronger by having it blessed. So anything that you get from my, store website is blessed sea salt, which is even a little bit stronger than regular sea salt. But like the soap, you can go into any drugstore, I think even Giant Eagle, and buy a bar of sea salt soap, which will help also. But the blessed sea salt soap would even be better. But I think it's just a protection because of the Atlanteans.
That's hadn't thought of it that way. Okay.
I couldn't come up with any other reason why sea salt would be that potent.
Right. I don't know. I just went with it. Never really put thought into it, to be honest.
Right. And I think most people are like that. Oh, no, if you say it works, I'm going to try it, which is fine because I'm not going to steer you in the wrong direction. But like I said, that's just the definition that I came up with for it.
Let's see. Somebody asked if I sell St. Joseph medals. I do, and a few others, Christopher, Michael, Raphael, and some of the little statues too. So Pat says, good morning. Can you go into more detail about the spirit that threw the axe in front of you? What did he look like? Do you remember what kind of activity led the homeowners to contacting you?
Yes.
Probably more axe throwing.
Yes. The lady had a mentally ill daughter that lived with her that had been, because of something violent that happened to her, that's what made her have to go on meds for mental illness. But she had a child. So her daughter and her granddaughter lived with her in her house. And this is one of those things where the kids' toys were out every night. In the morning, they were spread all over the house. Stuff was going on and off. So the mom of the little girl kept seeing stuff in her bedroom. Her pills didn't work at all because of that. And so that's originally why they called me with the 3 women living in the house, or the 3 females. And so when I went out there, and Ted was still working then, he hadn't retired. He'll never retire, but he was still working at his real job. And so, but it was a day off, so he came with me. And very strange house. Went in, and there was a little girl in there that had been playing with this little girl's toys, the live little girl's toys. And there was a spirit also attached to the girl that had the mental illness. And we had walked in the front door. And so at that point, when I was doing this, I was going through every room of every house, attics, basements, everything. Don't do that anymore. I sit down and they come to me. It's been a long time since I crawled around in the crawl space in a basement. Thank God. So anyway, but at this point, I knew something was down in their basement and it would not come upstairs. So I said, I need to go downstairs. And she said, it was funny because she says, well, I'm not going with you. I says, no, you don't have to go with me. Nobody goes with me. I
would go.
Yeah, you go. I'm not going with you. So an aside thing, the only one that's ever beat me down a set of steps with the camera, believe it or not, was Kenny Lofton, who used to play for the Indians. He's the only one that beat me down the steps. And then he about ran me over running back up out of the basement.
Hire him as our cameraman, right? He won't do it no more.
I'm out of here. Make me move. So anyway, so this house was so strange. I walked out the side door that goes into the attached garage. Open the door, go down the 3 steps. There is her car that she drives in there. And then there was an old, Ted, what was that car? It was over in Deviltown. It like a 50s, 40s Buick. 40s Buick was like parked on the other side of that the other side of the garage. And it was like an oversized 2-car garage. There was so much stuff in there, workbenches and strange looking tables. And I thought, okay. So I'm thinking, she told me to go this way, to go down the basement. And I just see a garage. So I look to my right, and there's the laundry room. I thought, all right. So I walk in the laundry room, and there's a door to the outside, the backyard. And right next to that door, just leaning against the door, was a red-handled axe. About 12 inches long. Not, one of those big things, just a regular one. And I remember thinking to myself, there was another door out of the laundry room. And I'm thinking, why would somebody have an axe leaning against a door like that? You just wonder why. And especially with the little girl in the house. And I'm thinking, So I open up this other door, and there's like 3 steps down. And there were 2 doors on either side. The one door I opened, it was a storage area, and I could see a ghost looking in through the basement window from the outside looking in, but he was not in the storage area. Okay. Close that door. The door right across from it, I grabbed the handle, turned it, pushed, and it pushed back at me. I thought, oh, okay, I'll come back to this one. So then I went down more steps, and there was the basement. There was the family room. Beautiful family room, strange to get to, but beautiful family room. Fireplace, there were 2 ghosts down there. This was a very busy place. So I thought, got rid of the 2 that were down there, go up the steps. And I thought, now I got to deal with this one that pushed back. So I put my hand on that doorknob and I turned it in. I'm going to go. And I pushed against that door and I almost killed myself because he wasn't pushing back. I just rammed the door into the wall and about fell flat on my face. It was the pump room for the well because they were out in the country. Whoever it was wasn't in there then. And I'm thinking, all righty. So come back up the steps, go through the laundry room, get back into the garage, and on the other side of that old car was the nasty ghost. And I took a picture of him, and if you have When Ghosts Speak or As Alive So Dead, there it is, right here. Yep. He's on the other side. He looks like a monster. But energy-wise, that's the way it showed up on my 35-millimeter camera. I was actually trying to take a picture of the 2 ghosts sitting inside that car. There was a man that was killed. The car hit him and killed him. He was in that car, plus the man that was driving the car was in that car. So that's what I was actually trying to take a picture of. So I get rid of the 2 in the car, and I'm looking at this other energy, and I'm saying, do you want to go? And I don't know how many of you have ever seen a fiberglass garage door. It was not a wooden door. It was not a metal door. It was fiberglass. And I was standing in front of the 3 steps to go up to the kitchen. And I'm thinking, okay, got to do this. And all of a sudden, right in front of me, that axe just went, just right in front of me, hit the cement floor and slid into the fiberglass garage door. Oh, you have no idea the kind of noise that made. It was boom, like this. And I'm thinking, whoa. And I glanced into the laundry room. The axe wasn't behind the door anymore. That was the one that he had picked up and was putting in front of me. And I remember sitting down on the top step because I know that Ted and that woman that owned the house had to hear that noise. Mm-hmm. This is my husband sitting up there with this big crash. And I'm waiting. Nope. So I yelled, just out of frustration, I yelled, "Don't worry, I'm okay. You don't have to check on me."
You're like, what are you talking about?
Well, it would be like, gee, did she fall down the steps or something? What's wrong with her? So I made the light. He claimed he was going to go into it. He said he would go into it. And as soon as he got close to the white light, he veered off and went right out. And I don't know where he went. He never went to a cesspool, to the white light, or anything. So that's the story of how that went with the axe. They never had any problems after that. But there's a little bit of follow-up with that car. And there was a funny looking, something weird looking, some kind of a table in there. So I brought the lady down. I says, "What is that?" She says, "When my husband was alive, he picked that up on the tree lawn from a funeral home. It was a thing that caskets went on to roll caskets around. And he thought he could use that as a tool bench. So one of the ghosts were attached to that. And that car, that old car, somebody had died by being hit. And so I told her, I says, there were 2 ghosts in this car. She said, I says, this car is terribly cursed. This is a bad car. She says, I'm getting rid of it. She called me 3 weeks later. She had somebody come out from the local town. It was a little village from the local town, take the car. And this is what they did back in the 70s. The tow truck driver just took it to a field somewhere that had a ravine. And he backed it up, and he's going to just dump the car into the ravine.
What? That's legal?
Yeah. Maybe it was his property. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. But the car got its last lick in because the cable that was holding the car, when he went to release the car, the cable snapped and took off his leg.
Oh no.
So that was just one terrible whole. That was just a whole bad scenario. So that's the story and what happened with the axe.
So nobody locally needs to go find this car in the ravine. Leave it alone.
No, it's not even in this county. I mean, it's about 4 counties away, south. But that's what they do. South. No, not that way, south. Not your way, south.
My goodness.
I know. And that story is in the book. So this is, but for those of you that don't have the book though, but yeah, it was interesting. And I asked Ted later, I says, didn't you hear that big noise? He goes, well, yeah, it shook the whole house. And I says, so you didn't think you should see if I was okay? He said, oh, I knew you'd be okay. It's okay. He has a seat on him. Actually, his seat is in his tooth. He's always got a seat, so I know he's protected. So
not from the wrath of the wife who's got axes flying in front of them. That's, I don't know if you've really, in all the years you and I have worked together, I don't think you've told like that story in depth though.
No, probably not, because it's a little long, but seeing he specifically asked, I figured get it out, get it over with. Right. And now we're probably going to have questions about the story. So
right. Maybe I have the little box that says new comments with an arrow, and I'm trying to hold it with, previously asked questions. So we might have to circle back when I get to them.
Okay, that we can do that.
Heidi says, is it possible for a home to have more than one portal?
It's happened in a couple of houses. They're never on the same floor. Actually, I just answered this question at the talk on Sunday.
Oh, did you?
And yeah, and they were on 2 different floors. The one was a house where there were 2. It was a party house, a lot of addictions, drugs, alcohol. And the other one was a horrible divorce. I mean, these people fought on every floor of their house. And so that was that house. And I've said before, portals are always on an inside wall, never on an outside wall. And I have actually found one portal that was in the floor of a basement. And I've never found another one like that.
Floor.
But you think about it, basements, a lot of creepy things happen in basements. And
right. Well, I was going to be like, was it finished? Was it unfinished? Was it?
Oh, no, it was just a plain concrete floor with the washer and dryer down there. It was an old enough house where the washer and dryer weren't on the first floor, down the basement, the beams, nothing fancy, and fruit cellar, coal bin. It was an old house. So who knows how many years ago that portal was even blown open.
Right. Could have even happened, I guess, maybe while it was being constructed.
Of course. Right.
So let's see. So Gina asks, if a person wears a quince charm while shopping at a thrift store, do they still need to spritz their purchased items with salt water after leaving?
Well, I would, or just dry sea salt, just sprinkle it on it, only because they can't get close to you. But 3.5, 4 feet is good space, but it's not a really, really good space. So once you walk to your car, they could easily be 6 feet behind you and follow and still get in the back of the car because you've got their item. So I would still sprinkle the item on. Sprinkle salt on whatever you purchased or picked up off the curb or wherever you got it.
Just leave it there, people. Leave it there.
I leave it. Don't take it off the curb. Please don't take it off the curb.
Michelle says, morning, I really enjoyed meeting both of you Sunday. Yay, another friend came to see us. Can I just put my dream bag under my sheet instead of pillowcase? I sleep with 3 pillows.
Absolutely. And I make that suggestion a lot of times. Actually, like I even have a mattress pad on my bed and then the sheet on top of that. For Ted, it is underneath the mattress pad because, you only take that off and, clean it, 3 times, 4 times a year. So better chance of not, accidentally throwing it in the washer and dryer. But you can just put it underneath where your pillows would be on top of it.
And Rhonda asks, have you ever seen Native American earthbounds in woods out on properties?
I have. And they totally ignore me. They won't talk to me. They won't look at me, but they are there. They remind me of, and I'm sure people remember this from years ago, the Native American Indian that they had in a commercial for litter. He was standing on the side of the road crying. He had tears running down his cheeks because people were throwing litter out the car window. And yeah, no, they definitely, they are out there in the woods.
Let's see. And it's funny because I was just thinking this. Where is Lewis? Where is Lewis?
Don't know. He'll probably show up at the very end.
Lewis. Let's see. There was a question about somebody with 2 little ones and their father had died when they were younger. And the question was, do you think that the father would continue watching over and protecting the little, I don't know how little they are anymore, but would that father still watch over them?
Yeah. And they would, hopefully he crossed over so that he wasn't causing them any problems with, ear, nose, throat, and upper respiratory problems. But absolutely, fathers, mothers, grandparents, godparents, like I said, they go to soccer games, first communions. They don't miss anything. Weddings, they show up for all of that stuff. And hopefully at some point the kids will say, because there's probably pictures of their dad around, oh, I saw Dad in a dream last night. So that would not be unusual at all.
Oh, good follow-up question. If Native American spirits are out in the woods, where are they getting their energy?
I think it's part of their belief system. And don't forget, the earth is energy. I mean, there's energy in all the woods, the living trees. There is energy out there. But the energy that they use doesn't deplete anything like they do from a human spirit. So I don't know. Maybe it's their makeup. I don't know. But I know that they can be out there. That's for sure. I don't know. Maybe they head back to the res at night and hang out with them and then go back out to the woods. They can go from here to California in a blink. So why couldn't they do that too? If they would talk to me, I would ask them, but they won't talk to me.
Do you think that they hear you? Like, do you
see me?
And they just kind of give you the side eye and look away?
Right past me, like I didn't even look at them.
Huh, that's interesting.
And I'm hard to miss.
A little bit stubborn, you're saying? What? Like,
yeah, just a little bit. Feathers, turn around and look at me.
I know I see you. You see me.
That's right.
Let's see. There was a question about like what would be the best way for somebody to remove negative energy from yourself? Like if you absolutely didn't have anybody to do the ceremony on you, what would be the next best thing for yourself?
Mud yourself, get the blessed sea salt soap, take a shower with it or bath with it. If you're bathing, throw a couple tablespoons of sea salt in the bath water. And what that will do, and the best way to explain it is if you had a hard-boiled egg and you just tapped it lightly, it would have cracks all over it. And that's what happens when you do any of those things. It makes the energy around you get fine cracks in it. And eventually, if you keep on doing that long enough, eventually it will come and, fall off like you can start peeling a cracked egg. So, but that's the only way that you can, because like I said, the ceremony you cannot do on yourself.
Now, I know you can look at pictures and kind of tell if somebody's crossed or what's going on, but what about in videos? Because Wu was thinking about her mother's funeral video and wondered if Earthbounds would be present on a video of a funeral.
I think I probably can, and only because at the store on Sunday, somebody that I'd cleared their house came, and actually they were on Zoom Monday night also, but their house is protected. The house was cleared. They have outside cameras on their property, and they were looking at their property, and oh my gosh, there was a spirit of a raccoon walking. I mean, and it was a shadow raccoon. In other words, you could see no color, no nothing, but you can tell raccoons walk in a very distinct way, lower in the front and higher in the back. And it was about the size of a full-grown raccoon. And it went from under the car to the house. And then in the next one, it was a cat. And the cat came this way and ran up a tree. And it was a shadow cat. So, and everybody, because everybody that was in line said, oh, let me see, let me see, let me see. Everybody saw him. So I think that, I think videos that you could actually capture an earthbound on, I could probably see. I don't think I could see, because I can't see them. I couldn't see spirits that crossed over because I can't do them anyway. But these I did absolutely see.
I was too busy running around.
I know it. I'm surprised you didn't come over and look.
Oh, that was just a line after a line after a line.
I know.
2 and 3 of us running register, trying to make sure everybody got done in time to be able to go do the talk. So next time I'll have to have more minions on hand. I'm like,
well, the one girl that helps the webmaster, she was there. And she said, oh, and she went up to the lady, and I heard her say to the lady, can I have those so I can put them on Marianne's website, or have it go on Marianne's website? And I don't know if she got them or not, now that I'm thinking about it. Hopefully she did, and they can be put on, but you have no question in your mind when you see these pictures. None.
I think they got emailed to me, honestly. I thought I saw a quick little, because on my phone, when I get an email, I can see part of the message.
Okay.
And there was a video attached. So I think we do have them, but they got sent.
If it's from a Margie,
I'll have to look and let you know.
Look and see. Yeah, if you have it, because I definitely would like to put it up.
And I'll have to give you the picture. And I think I showed you a while ago, though, the one time that I was at the what's that funeral home in Cleveland that they shut down because of like the bodies and everything.
Willis, the House of Wills.
Yeah, where I showed you where the spirit was actually mimicking somebody like right next to them, and I'm like, he's here. There's a carbon copy of him right here, but the eyes are glowing. Ta-da!
You got it. Some people. Seriously, if people go back and look at old pictures in albums and stuff, now that you know what to look for, you might be surprised what you've actually captured on film.
Maybe we'll have to at some point. Well, I was thinking today I would set up the email for the upcoming podcast, and we'll have to announce it and be like, send in, stuff, and maybe one of these will just kind of pop them up. And
anything they send in, though, keep this in mind. Write on the back of the picture that we can use it. Otherwise, we cannot show it to anybody else because that's your property. So you have to give permission for us to use it. So make sure you write that on the back of the picture and sign it.
Yeah, well, we could have them send them either to you or to me at the store if we wanted.
Yeah, either way, right.
Yeah, otherwise we'll have to set up an email for like digital or something.
I've got tons of pictures.
Next. So, one of our friends we hadn't seen in a while, Mr. Miyagi, says, have you seen a ghost throw a temper tantrum when their attachment starts wearing a seed?
Oh, yeah, they get really angry when they can't get close to the person. Yeah, they do. And, they'll walk over and pound a wall or slam a cupboard door, or, yeah, they don't like it. But again, keep this in mind. The seed is only good for 3.5, 4 feet. And, somebody said, well, these seeds don't work a darn bit. Somebody's at nights pulling the covers off from the bottom of the bed and playing with my feet. Ugh. And and I said, and you are what, 6'2"? Guess what? The seed doesn't work that far down by your feet. Okay. Don't make this harder than it is. It's really easy.
Right. Well, that's why when you were telling about putting the dream bag, under the sheet, part of me, and I'm thinking like I'd be sticking that like halfway down the bed, but I'm only like 5'6", 5'7", so that would give me a greater.
Yeah, but under your body, it's not going to help you remember dreams. But with the quince seed inside the dream bag, that would cover your whole body. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
Right. See, that's what I'm more worried. Only because after when you got rid of that creeper that was in my house, that I was waking up with like scratches and bruises like on my legs and everything, and going, I didn't do anything yesterday to hurt myself like that. I mean, I can be clumsy and I move heavy stuff a lot, but I'm like, I didn't do that.
No. Like I said, and I learned things. Tell people, get a seed, put it in an envelope, put it in the glove compartment of your car so nobody rides with you. Get a new car, take the envelope out and just put it in your new car. But then people have vans and they have SUVs and they're definitely longer than 4 feet. Mm-hmm. So, depends how much you want to, you want to throw one in the back, throw one in the back if if you're that worried about it. But it's just common sense.
Right. Let's see. So Amy asks, so since Melissa's store is protected from ghosts, can you still see positive, negative energy on the people there?
I did, and pointed it out to some of them. And it's funny because some of them did have it on it, but never asked, which is fine because I have that rule. If you don't ask, I don't tell you. And some people just don't want to know. It's like, I don't want to know if I have any ghosts in my house, so I'm not going to ask you, because if I ask you and you say yes, I won't believe you anyway. Okay, so don't ask me.
Oh, there are some comments about writing another book about other stories and other adventures that you've had.
I wish I could, but nobody's buying books now. Like I said, unless you're Stephen King or James Patterson, I'm not big enough to have books.
We're gonna have to prove her wrong, guys. So let's see. So Dushan, it's kind of broken up. Says that she lived in a house that's had ghosts for 25 years and would experience like energy drain, daily headaches. Probably wearing a seed if you're still in that house, I'm sure would be helpful.
Yeah,
rather
definitely.
on top of definitely getting it cleared.
Yeah, getting
Um,
it cleared or being just get a mindset that if you're not going to have it cleared and protected, then you're going to be doing a lot of smudging to
mhm.
keep them lethargic.
Hey, good question. Speaking of your ghost that acted like he was going to go in and then zip to the side, Debra asks, can someone go into the light and pop out quickly and then stay out? Or once they step in, can they only visit? How long can they visit? So can they get one foot in and go, oh, I changed my mind?
I've never seen it. That's never happened to me because I keep that white light open long enough till I watch them walk in and they disappear way out far. So I've never had one come back. I've had that one kid stopped. He had like 2 feet in, and he's the one that I thought I was lying to because he didn't want to see his mother, he didn't want to see his father, he didn't want to see his grandparents because it turned out that he died so long ago. He was playing with their lantern and set the house on fire and killed everybody. So he was afraid he was going to be yelled at. So that's why he never went to the light. And so I needed this. He was like 10, 11. I needed him to go. And I said, well, who do you want to see? And that's when I learned never to ask a kid or never tell a kid, go on in, you'll see mom and dad, because some kids don't want to see mom and dad. So I've always asked a child since then, who do you want to see? And this kid said, Sam. I said, okay. I said, who's Sam? His dog. And I just thought, great. And I said, oh, yeah. Nope, no, yeah, Sam will be there. You can absolutely go to the light. And this kid looked at me and he says, lady, are you lying to me? I said, oh, no, no, no. Sam is there. And he started walking in very slowly. And he got about 2 feet, 2 of his feet into the white light. And he stopped and he turned around and he says, there's Sam. And he started running in. So the dog was really there. I didn't lie. So that was good.
Yay. Well, I think
Yeah.
they always say, like, without fail, like, your pets are always going to be there.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a lot of comments of everybody saying, we would buy another book. We would buy another book. I'd buy another copy in a heartbeat.
I might have to actually think about doing a self-publishing again, like I did my first two. But it was so nice to let some company do it.
When are we doing the podcast?
Yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Topics and everything else in the order that they're going to come, and reaching out to some others that might be on there, right?
Right. I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Let's see. Now, how would you keep a ghost from stealing your objects and wandering off with them? Kind of like where they take it and go put the shirt in the other guy's house so his wife
Yeah,
can see.
there's nothing you could do unless you know you've got them in your smudging, and you make them lethargic where they can't get any more energy from you or get energy from whatever phase of the moon it is. But otherwise, they're going to keep on stealing, moving, hiding. That's what they like to do.
So are you still out and about doing clearings in person in the Ohio area?
Yes, I am, but you may as well hear it up front. If you haven't had your COVID shots, I'm sorry, I'm not coming to your house. It's your choice not to get the shot, and I have no problem with that, but it's my choice not to come to your house. So as long as you've had your shots, we're good.
Because our friend Dushan, who was talking about living in the house for 25 years with a ghost, was asking about clearing. So, Dushan, if you live in Ohio, like Cleveland area, I don't know if you're going down to Columbus or Cincinnati anytime soon for clearing. You can reach out to Marianne and see about setting that up. Lori asks, if you ever used Reiki to clear a house?
That's not what Reiki is for.
I love how Reiki gets attributed to the fix all
everything. Yeah. Reiki energy is very powerful, but it's used to help the subject that you're using the Reiki on or you're doing the Reiki to. there would be absolutely positively no way to do Reiki to get rid of a ghost. And Ted and I are second degree Reiki, so I know what I'm talking about. There's no way you could use Reiki to get rid of a ghost. No, I totally disagree with that.
I hadn't heard of it working, but I figured I'd ask you.
No.
Blue Healer says, on the last Coast to Coast that you were on, did they cut your interview short? I tried to watch the Insider episode and it didn't last long.
I don't know. I was on for a couple hours, so I don't know what, unless I'm on that show, I never hear it because I don't listen to it. Probably should never say that, but I don't. And so I know they've got tons of old episodes because this last time I was on, it'd been 2 years since I was on the last time. But with COVID and everything, they sort of did different stuff. So when they had me on, no, I think I know this, that all of a sudden, before we did the Zoom and this, that I would know when they did replays because all of a sudden I'd get orders from out of state and Ted would look and they, on a weekend, they did a replay of one of our talks. But to my knowledge, it's there or it should be. I don't know.
So if it didn't last a couple hours or even an hour, I'm sure it's been edited and cut. Yeah, sounds like it.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'm going to go there. Yeah, okay. No, that was going to be all wrong. So.
Kim asks, Marianne, I used to have a shadow person stand behind me that was about 6'3", but the shadow person had a glow around him. Why would he stand behind me and why would he have a glow?
That is how you saw his energy. That is, you visually saw a shadow person with the white or the glow around him. However he was using his energy, that's how your eye caught it. It's when, two people could be standing next to each other and a earthbound spirit will walk by. One person will go, oh my God, did you see that shadow person? But the other person will say, did you see that guy walk by with the plaid shirt? It's how you see it.
Let's see. Amy says, I have a question about aliens. We forgot to throw that in the topic of...
Yeah.
Are there physical traits that tell you someone is an alien or part alien, or something in their behavior? Sorry if you have answered this before.
There were all those TV movies about aliens. You knew it was an alien if the one had a straight finger all the time. I forget what that was. That was one of them.
That's a tendon problem.
Yeah. But if they all had it, or if you looked on the back of their neck, you could see there was an implant on the nape of their neck. I've never seen anything like that. And I've never, I don't know if there's anything that would tell them apart from anybody else. And that's my cat behind me, not a ghost in the drapes. Don't even start. So, Bob, move. There you go. So, where's yours at? Just being a loaf of bread somewhere?
He is.
Yep, there he is. Okay. Yeah, so I don't really think they have any real physical traits that I've ever seen.
I always wondered, and I think some people, like I know another person who has been on paranormal shows. To her, it's like she can see the energetic body, of that's around the human and see the extra that just isn't fitting in here.
Right.
And so that's how they are able to kind of...
Well, but on the other hand, now if somebody calls me from their house and I hear a very specific sound, for lack of a better description, I'll call it a real high-pitched sound. I know that they've had aliens on the property.
Now that I heard it, it's awful.
Yes, and you have heard it. And how do you describe it? it's 10,000 times people scratching their fingernails on a chalkboard. It's worse than that.
It's like if you take that a metal kitchen utensil and drag it across like a metal pot, that high pitched metal scraping, but make it louder and higher pitched.
It's horrible.
Because when I heard it, there at my old house, there's a granary across the street. So, you would hear like the machinery and that working. And it was like middle of dark 30 outside in the middle of the night. And this high pit, my first thought was like, something is going wrong in the granary. And then I'm like, well, they wouldn't be operating now. And what is that? So, yeah, but it's like exactly metal on my metal grinding and shrieking. It's
a horrible sound. It really is a horrible sound.
I'm not a fan of high pitched noises anyway, which is
I'm not either.
Or singing bowls. I'm a weirdo that way.
No, I'm not good at that either. No, just makes my teeth hurt.
No. Let's see. Any other last minute questions? So there is some Zooms coming up that have availability. The next one with availability is in September. But if you put in this here address, it will automatically pop up for you which ones are available with spots. So September 10th is here. But if you're watching this a couple years from now, if we're still doing them, that will always bring up what's available. We've been averaging 2 to 3 a month. So as they fill, we open up another one. So try not to wait to the last minute if you can, because I get a lot of phone calls if I'm trying to register, but I can't. Why can't I? Well, because that one's closed. That's why it doesn't show up for you anymore. It's full. Now it's this one.
The winery.
Oh yeah, we've got the winery September 18th. Another time to come see Marianne in person at the John Christ Winery in Avon, Ohio. That is from 5 to 10 in the evening. We will be out back. They've got really adorable little twinkle lights in the trees, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of psychics and healers. Marianne will be there. I'll be there running around, pretending like I know what I'm doing, corralling the whole event. So it's a lot of fun. They have really good wine. You do not have to drink wine to come. So you can always come and just hang out and visit with everybody.
Sometimes by 10 o'clock, the spirits are flowing.
All of them.
All of them. Yes.
It's a good time. And usually Sunday when I'm walking around in the store, I'm like, oh my God, that was a fun night, but I am so tired.
Right.
Because I'm usually not leaving till like 1 o'clock in the morning after wrapping everything up, packing down, making sure the winery's good to go before we leave, and we clean up after everything. So, but come on out if you're local. It's fun. If you're thinking of driving in and you're not immediately in the area, there's some really cute Airbnbs in the area and hotels. So, but it's a lot of fun.
You have some of your store there. I have all my products there. So, and you've got the books. So it's, and like I said, there's so many different people that have so many talents. So you really should come out and see it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we try to cover we'll have tea leaf readers there, psychics there, palmists there, with lots of hand sanitizer, just all sorts of fun things, food trucks. So, fun little story from Amy. Says, I used to tease my dad saying that he was part alien. His bald head was where his transmitter was.
Only if it glowed.
Let's see. But what else do we have coming, Marianne? What's your video tonight at 5:30?
Just general ghost questions this time. It's people got problems. Next week is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about summer ghosts next week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing what ghosts can do in the summer.
Well, you figure, I would figure that being outside, everybody's having a good time and they come in and,
Oh, but the damage that they can do, especially people that have pools.
There is that.
Yeah.
and big, fancy, expensive campers, I'm sure. And
Got that right. You're in the right direction.
so if you want to get a hold of Marianne, her contact information is on her website, although you're not taking any more calls from people outside of Ohio right now because you're so far behind, right?
Correct. Unless you've been on Zoom, you can leave a message, but I'm not taking any new calls from outside of Ohio. I got to get caught up with what I've got.
And this is where you could go buy the dream bags, the Quincy charms, the soap, the salt, all the things are there on Marianne's website. We got any last minute other stuff?
No, I think we're good.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. Oh my God, we're almost exactly on time. It's 11:01 for a change. We usually
go. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.
All right, guys. Oh, I know.
It'll be September 1st. Yeah. Oh, for those of you that are local, I will be on TV on Labor Day on the noon news on Channel 3. I cleared a house for them that they videoed, and so that will be Labor Day. And I think Labor Day is like the 6th of September. It's the first Monday, and that's the 6th. So, okay, we will see you next Wednesday.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys.